Last week was the final of The Masked Singer. For those of you who haven't seen it, the premise of the show is pretty simple. A bunch of celebrities dress in extravagant costumes and they sing. And each week the audience votes for who they like best, and the one with the least votes is eliminated and, most importantly, unmasked. A panel of judges are there to comment on the quality of the singing and to make wild guesses about who might be behind each mask. It's not normally the sort of show that I like to watch, but I caught it very briefly and was hooked. I didn't care about the singing or the judges' comments. I just had to know who was behind the mask. It was captivating. I was really invested. But of course, like lots of shows, they really drag out that reveal. It seems to take ages to get round to actually seeing who the person is. It's like quiz shows where the contestant gives an answer and then we wait for a minute or two while the host builds the tension and dramatic music plays in the background. Or something like Strictly Come Dancing, where the pause before announcing who wins or who loses seems to take up most of the show. I don't need the suspense, I don't need the drama, I just want to know the answer. I guess I could Google it later, but to be honest, I think I'd miss out a little on the journey. If I did just Google it, I'd be less invested. I wouldn't hear the clues for who is behind the mask. I wouldn't get to guess along. But if you're a little like me and you just want to get to the answer, you just want to find out who's behind the mask so that you can then get on with the rest of your day, you might have found Jesus and the way he worked a little frustrating, because he very rarely gave people the answer they wanted. Here's an example from our Bible passage today. He gets asked a really simple question. The next day, John was there again with two of his disciples. When he saw Jesus passing by, he said, "Look, the Lamb of God." When the two disciples heard him say this, they followed Jesus. Turning round, Jesus saw them following and asked, "What do you want?" They said, "Rabbi," which means teacher, "where are you staying?" "Come," he replied, "and you will see." So they went and saw where he was staying, and they spent the day with him. It was about 4 p.m. They ask where he's staying, and instead of Jesus responding by saying, just down the road next to the baker's, instead of giving them a straight, easy, simple answer to their straight, easy, simple question, Jesus says, "Come and you will see." He builds the suspense. They don't get an answer right away. They have to go with him. They have to journey with him. I don't know how far it was. And Jesus does this a lot. Instead of giving a simple answer, he might tell a story. He invites people to journey with him, to explore with him. Instead of giving the answers, Jesus is often trying to help people to discover these things for themselves. If I'm doing some maths, doing some homeschooling with one of my children, there's some maths, and I give them the answer. They've got the answer and they might get a tick. Well done. But if I help them think about the question and I help them work out how to find the answer, then they will learn to be better at maths, and maybe they'll be able to do it without my help the next time. And this is why I think Jesus told parables, to help people think these questions through, to help them think for themselves rather than just give them easy answers. This is why he says, "Come and see," instead of just telling. And for us, being a Christian, it's not about just knowing the answer to a bunch of questions. If you just want to know answers, you can use Google. Being a Christian is about accepting Jesus' invitation to come on a journey, to discover through our relationship with him what it means to be part of the family of God. Sometimes there are more questions than answers. Sometimes we have to work things out and it takes time, but it helps us to learn and to grow. Sometimes there is that wait, that pause before we get the answer we want. But Jesus invites us all to come and see. I wonder what it is he's got to show you in the days and weeks ahead.
you.